What is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, go by Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry. We are back. 5-game EPL slate coming up. We're going to jump right into it. We do have Champions League coming back next week. I will have coverage up for that. So the best way to make sure that you have that is subscribe to the channel. So make sure that subscribe. If you're watching this video, scroll down, hit like. All really does help. Let's jump right into the games. First game, Brentford hosting Arsenal minus 250. Arsenal off of big loss. I think they do get a response. I don't necessarily know if it's like a complete beatdown, but the bigger thing before I go into this game is we have seen now last week, a little bit this week in Interleague, but DK is overhauling the whole midfield forward thing. We just really aren't seeing it. A lot of forwards are no longer forward eligible anymore. Bukayo Saka, who we've had for 2.5 years as a forward eligible, cash game type of player, he's midfield only. Right now, it's Martinelli and Nketiah are the only Arsenal kind of options at forward, and neither one of them are nearly as good as Saka. So, just throughout the slate, I think you're going to find a little bit harder to fill that forward spot in the traditional manner. By the way, sorry if you hear a baby crying. It is what it is. Once I get going, he doesn't cry anymore. But, yeah, so, Martinelli's like 8,500. I'm not in love with it at all. Saka's like 8,800 at midfield. I'd like that a lot more, but it just depends of how you fit and like what the rest of the lineup construction is. We'll kind of go over that. So those are your options for Arsenal. Odegaard's fine too, but like none of these guys are like smash spots. Brentford's pretty good too. You can play Nketiah goal or bust. I think I'd rather have Mitrovic. I'll talk about him in a minute. It's a weird spot because you just don't have like Saka to plug in at forward, like we normally do. Yeah, Arsenal doesn't cross the ball a ton from their fullbacks, especially if Tierney's not in. If it's like Zinchenko, he kind of like moves in and plays more of like a midfield, like kind of like the same as Cancelo would do for City. Ben White's not a crosser either. So yeah, I mean, really the best option becomes Saka. And then, I can definitely see Martinelli catching up steam. He splits sets most of the time with Saka. Sometimes Odegaard jumps on some dead balls and things like that. But that's how you attack Arsenal. That being said, just because I'm not like in love with Arsenal and not like loading them up, doesn't mean I'm running to Brentford. Arsenal's possession-based team is very similar at times to playing guys against Man City. Just not something you really want to do, especially, at away. So, the Jensen and Blemo types, not going to be who I'm targeting. The only guy that I would probably, target maybe in GPP if you think like Brentford comes in and goes 2-0, you maybe play like Tony and a Raya stack. Raya being the goalkeeper, Tony being the goal-dependent striker. Do something like that to be a little bit different, but that's about all I could suggest. Wolves going to Southampton. Southampton, this is like the most must-win three-pointer you'll ever, like, I guess you'll see them closer to coming up, but like right now, like this is such a must-win for Southampton. James Ward-Prowse, one of my favorite plays on the slate, especially now he's playing like this more advanced 10 role. Just gives him already what's an outstanding floor. We already know that anytime he's over a dead ball that's just outside the box, it almost feels like it's a 50-50 shot that he's going to convert it into a goal. And now he gets a little bit more attacking stats, a little bit more shots assisted, opportunities in open play, a little more chances to take shots. So love James Ward-Prowse at 7,900. There's one other guy I do want to mention from Southampton, Paul Onuachu, one of the top scorers in Belgium. Big 6'7" striker. They signed for $21 million at the deadline. In my opinion, although Southampton does really weird stuff, you don't sign a guy for $21 million if you're not going to plan to start him. He's 4,000. I've already talked about forwards not like the same forward we had even 2 weeks ago. Like there are a lot more like different ways you can go about it. So 4,000 for Onuachu, I kind of like if he's in. If not, it'll be Che Adams. He's fine, just more expensive. James Bree is now Southampton option. He's 5,300. He's a very attacking fullback. Doesn't take sets like he did at Luton in the championship, but still active crosser. Perraud is there. Whoever else Southampton starts, I guess it's fine. It's just not like a cash option. The guy that you want is James Ward-Prowse. Going to Wolves. We new look Wolves after the deadline. They didn't really get any corners versus Liverpool, so we don't have a good option. My best guess is Pablo Sarabia would be over sets. I think he's definitely fine. Southampton's defense sucks, so any Wolves players should be live. But if you see Sarabia, Podence, and Moutinho, we have no idea who's going to be on sets. We really don't. And Hugo Bueno could take some too. Nobody like I'm like going out of my way to target in for Wolves, but you know, if you kind of land on a guy that's kind of an attacking role, I would never like target a Wolves guy because I think he had sets right now, just because. But like, you know, a guy like Sarabia, who's going to be in the attacking third, has a shot at sets, you know, has good pedigree, stuff like that, you know, I can see it being an option. Let's go to Tottenham at Leicester. Tottenham is plus 100. No, I'm sorry, Tottenham is plus, I can't even check whatever. There's like, I think they're a slight road favorite. Son is forward eligible. I think he will be incredibly popular. I think something's wrong with this version of Son, just it's not the same guy. He also doesn't take Monopoly sets if Perisic is on, they'll split. So I think he's fine, air quotes fine. You know, I almost rather have Harry Kane. But then I all of a sudden go there and I'm like, would I rather have Mitrovic at home? I don't know. I think you're going to play one of like a Mitrovic, Son, or Kane on this slate. I have all of them ahead of Martinelli, which I can't tell if that's going to be contrarian or not. I guess I'm just not a big fan of Martinelli, is what it boils down to. But, you know, we know Leicester concedes, so I think Kane is definitely in play. We know Kane is just awesome, and even though he doesn't take set pieces, just has a sneaky good floor. So definitely like Harry Kane. Son's fine. That's all I'm playing for on Spurs. And then I guess you could do Perisic, Kulusevski, but it's really Sane or Cunt. Sane or Cunt? Well, I don't even know what I'm saying. Kane or Son. There we go. For Leicester, one of my favorite players in the state, Christensen, left back, taking most of the set pieces. Who knew? 4,100. I can't remember where he transferred from, but it was funny. Like Storm saw him come up. I'd missed it right away that he started taking the corners in the game. I think Storm had Madison, and Madison scored, so it all worked out. But he took at like his previous destination, so it was in play. But Madison's always just been such a great corner taker, and you know Tielemans, and you know Dewsbury Hall is just like. Really, this left back is going to take sets. Yes, he is. And he's 4,100, so why not? Let's play him. Madison's fine, but expensive. You know, I think you correlate the two. But if Madison's not going to have set pieces, you know, he's kind of overpriced, so not going to be in love with him. You know, you can do Leicester here for GPP. You know, we know Spurs are very prone to letdowns and massive win at home versus City. I could definitely see Spurs having a letdown, so correlate that as you will. Forest going to Fulham. Fulham minus 110 favorite. Really like Fulham here. Andres Pereira, I think it's one of the best plays on the slate. Close to Monopoly set pieces. Every once in a while, William will take one, but playing in the 10 role, midfield only. But I think you lock him in. Forest, to me, even though they won 2-0 versus Leeds, they looked really rough in possession. They gave up a ton of possession to Leeds. Fulham is really good at home. That's a really good crowd. I think this could be a very letdown game. I would say this Fulham is probably my favorite GPP team. I think in GPP I would definitely have a Fulham stack, like Mitrovic, Willian, Pereira, maybe Leno as my goalkeeper, something like that. I like that thought quite a bit. Tete has been awesome as a right back. Yeah, so I am definitely a fan of Fulham. Willian's a really good forward option. You know, I told you the occasional set he'll take. Is nice, and then he's on the wing. You know, we know Williams' pretty good DFS player, even at the advanced age, and it's a good spot. It's a good price. I think he'll be a pretty popular option. Mitrovic, I told you I like. He is more goal dependent, but Mitrovic, this is the type of matchup that he kind of smashes in. Navas is a good keeper, but you know, it's kind of sometimes when these defenders know that they have a better keeper behind them, they're like more prone to less close down and let the guys take longer shots, which is cool. That just gives us more DFS points, so I am down with that. For Forest, Morgan Gibbs-White is no longer forward eligible, which makes him really hard to play on this slate. He is taking Monopoly set pieces, which is fine. Just, you know, all of a sudden you're now putting him in, you know, if I'm locking in James Ward-Prowse and Pereira, those are my two locks at midfield. You know, what am I doing with Saka? What am I doing with, you know, if I'm going to play a Wolves piece? What am I doing with, you know, Pascal Gross, Solly March, Michael Elise? Like, all of a sudden is grouped with all those guys. It's a lot tougher, especially away to Fulham. So, not a lock by any means. All right, last game, Brighton going to... I told you, man, I can't stop this car. This kid just starts going. So, hopefully this light for everybody's case so I don't have to do any editing to this comes through. I can't read my own rating. Why am I forgetting who Brighton is going? Oh, Crystal Palace. There you go. It was like R-A-R-Y. I don't know what that means. Crystal Palace. Let's just start on the Brighton side. 2.5 options. Solly March, Pascal Gross, split sets. Both midfield only eligible now. So that whole Gross as forward, it's gone. And then I think Matoma. GPP, because he doesn't really get a lot of like peripheral scoring, but he's just so good in such good form. It's hard to not like him for a GPP flyer. But again, he's midfield, so you're taking him over set piece takers, which is always difficult the way this game is played, because you kind of want to like waste your goal dependency at forward now, and then get all your floor from the mid defender spots. So yeah, that's how I would just Brighton. It's really those three, nobody else. All their strikers, no matter who starts, all suck. Undev, Welbeck. I don't even know. They almost need to just try somebody else there. The kid's good. Ferguson's good. But they're just a mess up front. That's why, Giata here, really decent option. Crystal Palace at Selhurst, I'm always a big fan of. Brighton struggles to score. I can see that being a good goalie option. For Palace, Eze, not forward either, I don't believe. I didn't write it down. I don't think he's forward. I think he's midfield only. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Put it in the comments. And Elise, I always like Elise more. He's really good DFS player. Likes to cross the ball a ton, likes to shoot. Eze, just like a better real life player than DFS, but he still show up with some tackles, some fouls drawn, the occasional corner. Just not as many, it seems, as Elise. A little less likely to just like shoot from range. But both of those are good options. No Zaha. We know the stats on Zaha. When he's not in, Palace is nowhere near as good. He's just that dynamic. So just note that. Maybe temper the expectations on if you're trying to beat GPP with Palace. But, I would assume it's like Edward up top, something like that. So you could like do Elise plus him, something along those lines. Fullbacks don't cross a bunch. So not too many options there. All right. That'll do it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, again, if you're still around, hit me with a comment on here too. All that helps push the video. That'll say. See you.